AJ Styles and Damien Priest, I wanted to like this so bad. But from the time they started in the back, there in the backstage area, the camera's on AJ, somebody started to say something to him. Suddenly he sees the guy he wants. He sees Damien Priest, and he goes over, and they're doing the jerky epileptic camera movements now, not only in the matches, but also in the backstage fights. Could you tell? We knew they were fighting, but I don't really know what they were doing because I was seasick from watching that camera. But they had a little bit of a scuffle in the backstage area.
It's your buddy Kevin Dunn you can thank for that.
Jesus Christ. So then they start the match, and honestly, for AJ being so smooth, and we've been a fan of Priest, and he showed a lot before. And I'm not saying he sucks, but the first 2 minutes, they didn't have this together for the first couple minutes. And then all of a sudden, it got good for about 30 seconds, and they went straight to the break. And they came back after 3 minutes. Now you've lost any kind of interest they'd started you with. And he's getting the heat on AJ, and somehow AJ's head was busted open. And AJ did a sloppy backflip DDT that, well, I don't know whether it was AJ sloppy, he's not usually, or whether Priest is too tall for it or whatever. If it didn't work, AJ made his comeback. Priest stopped him and got a 2 count, kicked the shit out of him, went for his finish. AJ Pele kicked him, and Priest did a great sell on that. And then AJ was going for something, and Priest kicked him off the apron of the ring, and then just turned around and kneeled down in the middle of the ring, and the lights went out, and the blue spotlight came on, and he made a mean face, and they went to the break. And the match had gotten good at the end there, and we were following a bing, 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 and suddenly he kneels down, blackout, blue spotlight, because it's Edge's lighting. He makes a mean face. They go to the break. When they come back on the other side of the break, it's the announcers. The arena's lit back up. The announcer's saying, well, before the break, here's what you say. And they recap the lighting effect. And then they didn't ever tell us what happened. Why did the match end? Where did AJ go? Why did they stop this? Why did the light? What the fuck? And then they go back to AJ in the back. And he's pissed obviously at Damien Priest, but there's no explanation of what caused the match to stop. The lighting effect changed. AJ wasn't hurt. The other guy's kneeling in the middle of the ring. And if this is an unexpected occurrence for this light to come on Damien Priest like that, then how did the announcers or the director or anybody in the truck know to go to break? And if the match did end, and it had to end in front of their eyes, even if everybody just walked away, so wouldn't you have thought that somebody would tell, well, the lights, so they just all walked away. What the fuck was this?
What caused the lights to all of a sudden shine right on Damien Priest's face? I don't know what this was other than this wasn't wrestling.
It's Edge's influence from the hills of Asheville, North Carolina.
Is there a chance that Malachi Black is behind all this?
It's stupid enough for that.
Right. That's what makes me think it. This is so not good. The match just ended. I think that AJ Styles is really stale right now. Whatever they're doing with him isn't working for me. And Damien Priest, I'm just not interested like I used to be. There's still time, but this isn't doing it.
And the problem that they have created for themselves also in the WWE, and possibly while the serious producers want to jump ship, the matches mean nothing. On television, at least. And a lot of the pay-per-view matches mean nothing. And they've trained people because they just get out of them in just idiotic ways. It might be real quick, and we'll go to Miz and Cody in a second, but the opposite effect in TNA. We're at a taping in Orlando, 2008-ish. Of course, you know who's writing the formats. And in the production meeting where they all get run through, we've talked about that. One of my matches that I was supposed to produce didn't actually start. And I can't remember what the whole thing was, chapter and verse, but the point is, as soon as it was read through, and I said, Cornette, you got that. Oh, okay, here's a problem. You've got a finish for this match. The match never actually started. And so some of his screwy shit where in some fashion shit would just start taking place. And I said, you can't have a finish of a match if the match never started, if you want to have a finish. If you don't want to have a finish, it can just be a fight. But if you have a finish, then it's got to start. Of course, Shitstain says, nobody's going to notice. I go to I believe it was 4 wrestlers basically involved in it. I think that was the number. Brian, what do you think the first thing that one of them looked at me and said was?
What's the finish?
No.
What's the start?
I told them the finish. They said, well, wait a minute. How can we have a finish? We didn't start. So I went back to Shitstain. I said, well, everybody in this match is wondering how they can have a finish when they never started. And he rolls his eyes like that is a ridiculous question that would impugn the integrity of his goddamn Shakespearean efforts. Well, a lot of times I think these writers just say, well, there's no reason for anyone to win at the end or start at the beginning.
It's not the writers. I mean, the stuff they're producing may not be what we like, but they're doing it to serve a master. This is Vince.
Oh, yes, he's blessing it and passing it and everything. I'm just saying the ones that are most affected and or offended by this are the wrestlers that have to perform it and the producers that have to figure out a way to make it make sense.
Do you think Damien Priest is happy?
I don't know. I don't know if he's happy, sleepy, grumpy, Doc. I don't know. I mean, with him and Edge, I can see something there, obviously, but I don't know what was going on here.